Convinced about greyhounds? Dogs are amazing animals. I once worked with a little wire-coated fox terrier and never liked terriers before, and I became convinced, and now I'm convinced about greyhounds. They're beautiful, noble animals. One of the things that is interesting though, as we get into our gardens, over the winter especially, is that the cold and everything, our fingers get a bit numb and we inclined to take more chunks out of our fingers, and we get chills in our backs and our muscles because we let the cold air blow onto ours. So today we thought we'd come and find out a beautiful natural therapy for looking after your skin, your muscles, as you progress through the winter in your garden. We're off to meet Lisa West, Naturopath. Hi there, Lisa, how's it going?
Hi Michael, good, thank you very much.
Now, we were being drawn together by a mutual friend, Ross Fanthorpe of Liquid Good, right into natural things for the soil, and he said, you've got to go and meet Lisa West. She's got these amazing products for skin care and muscle easing, and so tell me a little bit about those the products.
Yes, Michael. Well, I started these products in 2001. I was doing my diploma of herbs then, and my son had an unfortunate accident where he lost the skin on his bottom, and so he was going to get second-degree burns. They said 80% scarring from the burns. Yes, and I thought, no, I don't want that. So I designed my skin repair cream at the time.
Yep.
And I put that together myself, and I trialled that on him for 6 months. And so 6 months later, all the scarring was gone. So,
well, that's amazing.
Yes.
But we'll go back to, where do you study the herbal care that you were studying?
Okay, so I did my diploma of herbal studies through the Australasian College of Herbal Studies. I think they're based in Hamilton.
Yeah.
And then from then on, I got a very good sound knowledge of herbs, but I didn't have enough knowledge to do with anatomy and physiology of the body. So from there on, and I did a diploma of naturopathy through the Naturopathic College of New Zealand here in New Plymouth.
Ah, so,
yes.
So you're right in the right town and everything to be doing those things.
It was handy.
Yeah. Now, when you develop a product like this, there's lots of products you see that they are natural, they are perfect, but then you read a little bit further on and you see the things that aren't listed, in fact, can be quite toxic as well.
That's right.
You know, how are you making sure that that stuff lasts in the tube?
Well, it was a hard battle. What I did is I got in touch with a manufacturing company here in New Zealand, and I put forward my ideas that I wanted to keep the product as natural as possible, preferably using plant-based preservatives. So they gave me a little bit of homework to do. I had to do a lot of research. These are the sorts of things you have to do on your own. Because basically when I first started doing the creams, the base cream I noticed did have some what I would call harsh synthetic chemical in it. So I thought, well, I'm going to make a difference here. My cream's going to be all plant-based. In fact, what I did do is the research that I found, I had then tested with the manufacturing company. And not only do the preservative work well with the main ingredient, but they are plant-based natural preservatives, so they're good for your skin. So they enhance the shelf life of the product, because that's really important, to have a long shelf life so that the customer gets the value for money. But they enhance the main ingredients, and that is very special.
Yes. Well, one of the things, of course, is that you're probably listening and you think, herbal lady, and how do you compare, say, to the wise woman or the witches of the villages or the shaman and that work with the herbs for a whole range of things?
I have a lot of respect for people like that. I think this day and age, in our environment now, we have to know a lot about the body as well. We can't just be going out there and providing herbal information unless we know how it works for the body. So I have a great respect. There's a lot of herbalists out there that are still old school, and they have the most amazing knowledge of all. And I enjoy listening and talking with them. However, then you've got people that are naturopaths that have studied herbs afterwards. They too have a great knowledge of herbs, but they've also got a great knowledge of how the human body absorbs those herbs and how they use those herbs internally, which is really important.
Now, how are you working in terms of herbs and plant material, say between New Zealand product, and of course Manuka is the big thing that everyone's jumping up and down at the moment.
And it's in this.
Oh, beautiful, right. Watch this space here. And things like kawa and koromiko and so on.
Yes.
And where a lot of the overseas pharmaceutical firms are looking at New Zealand at the moment, I believe, and imported herbs and so on, because different soils and different conditions are going to give you different product.
That's right. With my products, what I decided to do is with herbs or any plant life, you're best to grow them in their natural habitat, in their natural environment. So whether they are organic or whether they are what they call wild-grown herbs, if you keep them in their natural habitat, that's where they're meant to grow. So if you try and grow them in a different habitat, they don't always produce those medicinal qualities that we need in a plant. So I source mine from different countries around the world. There are several herbs in there that are from New Zealand, but most of them are from their natural habitat of other countries.
And that gives you a pretty broad spectrum of study, isn't it?
Yes, it does. I think it depends on what you want for your product.
Yeah.
I want my product to work. I want people to come back and say, wow, I really like that product. And to do that, I have to keep it back as natural as possible. So to do that, you make sure that the plants you're using are used to their environment. They've had the least amount of interference and processing, so that they still contain those medicinal properties.
Yes. So what happens? You buying these herbs and plants, or you growing any yourself?
I used to. It's time consuming, so I do still eat them in our cooking.
Yeah.
But when you're getting into something like this and mass producing in large quantities, you need to leave that up to the experts, really. It's quite a process at changing the herbs from a plant into like a tincture or a fluid extract or anything like that. So you need to source those from people that have been doing them for a great deal of time and know what they're doing. Yes.
And that's an interesting word, tincture. Explain what that is.
Wow, that's going in quite deep.
Yeah.
Manufacturing companies formulate in different ways, and two of many ways is tinctures, or what they call fluid extracts. So it's basically getting the medicinal parts of the plant, whether it be the leaves, the root, the flower, the stem, and basically combining that with alcohol water. The distillation process is different depending on who does it,
right,
and the type of plant that's used. You have to stay within the safety of the plant, because as you probably know, herbs can be dangerous if you overdose on them. So that's why I say, the experts, there's wonderful companies, manufacturing companies out there that know what they're doing, and so they know what type of manufacturing process is best for that particular plant.
Realise the full potential of your soil with Liquid Good. The combination of humic and fulvic acids promotes healthy and natural soils, resulting in healthier and more nutritious food. Applications of Liquid Good makes nutrients in the soil bioavailable to your plants, so they thrive, avoiding dependence upon chemical fertilisers. It's safe and easy to use. Liquid Good, micronutrients for plants.